These are pretty encrusted here, aren't they?
Yeah.
Seems like it.
There's a little bit larger one. If you come a little wide there, please, Jonathan. There's a bit larger one here we can probably get.
So, not signed up for the chat, but I just got a text from Kai Moore. Hey, Kai.
Go ahead and push on in there, please.
If you've got any questions about what's going on, you can text me and we'll have someone try to answer them for you.
It's really stuck on there.
Yeah, it's like an encrusted sponge.
Wow.
It looks like something Dr. Seuss would draw.
Yeah.
Purple polka dots.
Seems like we got some pieces of it.
Are you at full jam there, Jake?
Yep, full jam. I haven't seen that second large sponge go through, so.
Reg.
The big chunk.
Yeah.
Did the crabs come through?
One of the crabs is in there,
okay.
And the second one could be in there. I'm not sure though. They tend to float up to the top when we're full suction.
Yeah.
I think I got the lip that was dangling down.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to tell. Can you zoom in on bubble there a bit, Jake, please?
Yeah.
So we've got a text question from Kai, and she's asking, what kind of sponges are
Full
you
wide,
getting?
please. Full wide there, Jonathan.
Full wide.
That's a good question, Kai, because we actually don't have a sponge taxonomist on board with us, so we're doing a lot of guesswork here. But we're collecting them for two purposes. One, to just document what different types of sponges are here, and another to try and understand if some of these sponges may be making molecules that might have potential to be a medicine one day. So I should point out that Kai, I believe, are you 10, Kai? I think you're 10 now. And she's the daughter of one of my colleagues at Scripps who studies the mechanisms by which these animals and microbes in the ocean produce natural products. So we're hoping that some of these samples will benefit some of his research as well.
Anything else you guys want from around here? We're going to play with the suction some more to make sure everything comes in. But anything else around here, you
Well,
guys?
you know, I'm just looking at, outside of the suctioning, I'm looking at that white sponge, and I'm not completely sure if the first watch collected. I know they collected a white sponge. I don't know if Kira is watching or not, or if Lisa's watching or Gabe is watching. Does that look like the one you already collected, or?
Yeah, it looks a little bit different.
Do you have the time it was collected? I could look at the pictures.
It was the first sponge collected, I believe. It was a little early on.
NA195.
1840.
1840.
Or 17?
Yes, it does look awfully similar. The shape is not the same. The shape of this one is more rounded. The other one was more like a
plate.
A plate, yes. But otherwise it looks really similar.
Sorry, it was at 1930.
1930.
So a no to that sponge there?
Yeah, so tempting, but we'll say no.
Roger
We'll move on.
Looks like we're getting most of the bits into the slurp now too, which is good.
Yeah, I saw some of those dark
Oh, yeah, there it
pieces.
is.
Oh, look at
There's
that.
that second big piece.
Oh, that's great.
Fantastic.
It's all jammed up.
Wow.
All right, I think it should be pretty free
Everything's in there.
There you go. The sponge that was collected on 1930, I have up on HIPAC 1.
just to be.
Or sorry, HIPE plan is the
Type
button.
plan? Yep.
HIPE plan. Used to be called HIPAC.
Oh, I think that's
That's,
different.
yeah, that's the,
Yeah, I think
that's the other one.
Could
Okay.
we look at timestamp 1745?
1745, copy.
So am I all clear to stow the slurp, or did you guys want some more samples around here?
Well, let's get a look at, yeah, see, that looks very different. I think that looks very different, the way the oscules are positioned. What do you think, Greg?
Confirm that this is.
You want to zoom in there, Jonathan?
I think,
If that's 1746.
Did they do a zoom in on that, Renee?
Let's see.
I agree that it looks pretty different. I think the sponge that we're looking at now has much bigger pores.
all right, let's do it.
You want a cookie cutter of it with the slurp, or would you like to put it in a bio box?
I think, I would go with a bio box.
Roger
and,
that.
and grab a reasonable piece of that sponge, please,
Yes,
if you can.
that's the one.
Look at
Oh,
that
right,
gorgeous
yeah,
solus too.
Yeah, we
Showing
can
off.
get some good pictures.
Now that I've opened up a million photos,
Thank you, Steve, for pulling these up.
looks very different.
And here's
So for
one
viewers
square
who
up on
can't
your
see at
sample.
home, we're also looking at previous screen grabs and pictures that were
Full wide, please.
captured earlier on this dive to compare a sponge that was collected earlier to the one that we have on screen now.
I got to tell you, this is my first cruise on the Nautilus, but the technology here is just mind-boggling. What these guys are able to do, it's pretty phenomenal. Feel like you're
Roger that. That was conveyed. Thank you.
sitting in NASA and Command Central here with 1,000 monitors and all kinds of information available.
Lots of lights and buttons.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Lots of things to record.
And especially nice enough that the boat's not rocking that much today.
Yeah,
Makes life easier.
pretty calm day.
Yeah, and so Kai Moore is also interested in the soft corals we're trying to collect, and so they've been very patchy, Kai. We found an amazing site called a San Juan Seamound, and towards the end of the dive, we started to see quite a few of these chemically rich soft corals that we're targeting. We weren't able to collect very many of those, but that's definitely a high priority for us. We just haven't seen very many on this dive. They seem pretty patchy. They seem to really like the high current areas, and we haven't really seen evidence of those type of high current habitats today.
And push on there, please, Jonathan.
But believe me, if we
great.
see one, we will definitely try to collect it.
All right, so we're going to go in the partitions between, or in the slots between the boxes.
Exactly, yes, that's going to be our destined location.
Roger that.
And all of that in the slurp jar was 104, and this is 105?
Yes,
Correct.
That would be correct.
Got it.
We'll confirm that sample number when hopefully the sponge floats down into that partition.
Nice grab, Jess.
Oh, fantastic.
That's not what you want.
So Bradmore's asking if we've seen any big fish. So I have a feeling you didn't sign on before we were basically attacked by a giant skate. It was
Full
I think
wide.
it was a
That's not-
skate.
a
Yeah.
skate.
That's not a fish.
Okay,
Well-
fair enough.
I Fish can be...
It's a common names get widely used. Yeah, this was quite a large skate, and it just came crashing right into the ROV, and it looked like it was trying to eat our front porch. And there's a rockfish. We've seen a lot of rockfish, a lot of hagfish.
Right, go ahead, Jake.
Actually, a skate is a type of fish.
Skate is.
Right.
Just a non-bony fish.
Yeah. The ray that we saw earlier, maybe not.
Skates and rays are in the same group with sharks. They're chondriichthyes.
So is this A or B she's targeting? I can't quite tell.
For the slot partition?
Are we going more for the forward or the aft?
The aft slot here.
Aft
yeah.
partition. Beautiful. Thanks for confirming that.
This will be interesting to see.
If it floats
So
in.
this is 455 meters. So this is actually some of the shallowest we've been so far on this cruise.
Hopefully it'll sink on into that partition there.
Don't think my jaws will allow that.
Yeah. These are really tough maneuvers to get into these really narrow sections.
Jake.
All right, there we go.
Awesome.
Stay.
Oh, stay. Oh,
Yeah, stay in there. Sink,
it's
sink,
sinking.
sink. Partially floaty, Raj. Okay.
awesome. So
Well
just
done, well
confirming,
done.
that's going to be sample NA124105, stored in the starboard bio box, section B, which is the aft section in between.
Copy.
Did you guys want more of that sample, or are you guys good with that?
I'm okay with that. Thank you.
Raj? Sure thing. Anything else around here? You guys good?
Good, Greg.
Onwards.
Yeah, onwards.
Roger that.
Thank you.
That was a great stop. Thank
Very
you.
productive.
We have a full wide on Argus. Thank you.
Yeah, so some of you tuning in, it's possible to sign up through the Nautilus Live website to actually chat directly with us. Under normal circumstances, you're actually able to talk with us, but because of the COVID restrictions, we have fewer people on board, so the whole communications team isn't here, so it's not possible to speak directly with us, but it is possible to sign up for using the chat function. Otherwise, you have to know our phone numbers and text us.
Oh dear.
Start putting my phone number in my Nautilus bio and see what happens.
Calls from everyone.
Interesting things are going to happen there, Rennie.
Look at that sponge.
So after we get to these next waypoints, is there any other?
Yeah, they just came up with a few more, so I'll zoom out on HiPAC. It'll still be relatively flat terrain, but we'll be going to these just kind of a couple of peaks here on the way.
Roger that.
Not really peaks, but just kind of the top of these. A little bit of a downward, but probably flat, and up to this one.
Okay, Reg.
These calcium carbonate rocks kind of remind me of pancakes.
Reminds me of breakfast. Blueberry pancakes.
Those are quite good.
Really good.
Oh, is that what it was? I managed to not have breakfast on the ship for 3 months.
Really?
Never had breakfast on the ship.
Just sleeping in.
Well, I was the 12 to 4 watch,
Oof,
AM and
yeah.
PM from up up until this cruise. So sleep through that one.
So, Paul, Greg, do you guys want us to cover more ground faster, or would you rather us kind of go along at 0.3 knots, or we can maybe bump it up to 0.4?
Yeah, we're not in a huge hurry to get anywhere. I think slowly, while we can look carefully, would be better.
Okay.
Sounds good.
We've got a couple of targets, but this rate is good.
Roger that.
Thank you.
Of course.
Quick gauge check.
Sure thing. Thanks, Jake.
Time for your next joke, Kylie.
I'm trying to come up with one.
Do you have one, Paul?
I don't do jokes.
Great.
I have a few that are almost there. I'm trying to connect the dots.
We'll look forward to them.
These are all
Surprise
improvised
us with
jokes.
them.
Sea cucumber over there.
We have a look
Ooh,
on the
that's a
right.
cool
There's a sea cucumber.
Yeah.
Sure thing.
Have we seen one like that before?
I don't think so. We're a lot shallower.
Yeah, that is true.
It could be a local one we see quite often, Parasticopus californicus.
Go ahead and start to push on in there, please. Get all those droppings on the rock.
Ooh. Someone's been busy eating the sediment.
Oh my goodness.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's Parasticopus. So we'll let that one, unless you want to do some natural products work on it, Paul.
No, I think we'll stay away from the sea cucumbers.
Okay, we'll let that one live its sediment-eating life.
Raj, full wide, please.
Looks very happy there.
I think I saw corallimorph in the background.
Yeah, there was a little bit of
These sea cucumbers.
Right there.
Sorry.
yeah.
These sea cucumbers make a group of compounds called saponins that some people study, but as you might guess from the name, they're very soapy and very, very messy to extract and work with.
Soapy?
Yeah.
Type
Is
of
it a
thing.
surfactant?
Yeah, I guess that would be a way to describe them.
It's something the sea cucumber produces, so it's bitter tasting when a predator might be trying to go after it.
It looks like there's more of those encrusting bits that you guys wanted to sample by the octopus here. Was that still an interesting target to you guys? Go ahead and push
Did
on
we
in.
get a couple? If we got a couple in the slurp,
I don't think we did because they were next to the octopus. These were those colonial
yellow.
tunicates I
Yeah, I
think
see
Greg
them.
had identified.
There was something yellow that came into the slurp, but
Oh,
I don't know what it, I'm not
We
sure if it was
definitely
the same
collected those last cruise, and they should be down actually in the lab if you're curious. If you don't want to collect, they're there. But if you do, we can stop the ship. Oh no, I think they shipped everything out, so my mistake. It might not be
Yeah,
there.
all they left was some bones for me.
They just left you the bones.
Yeah, well, I'm happy with the bones. But there's another solitary tunicate on the left of that rock too, so
Yeah.
Paul could probably use that.
this white one?
Yeah.
You like
Yeah.
to hold here then?
No,
That one?
the transparent one.
Oh, that one there.
Yeah.
I see it.
Bridge now.
Are you guys interested in sampling these?
Yes, please.
Sure thing. Full wide, please.
Hold position. You'll be a bit past, but we're flat, so you could change your heading around.
Roger that.
They said that the yellow ones were grape-like in texture.
Grape?
I thought was a very strange way of describing a tunicate.
That's very interesting.
Not a colored grape I've seen before.
No, I think you would
You'd pass at the supermarket.
pass the expiration date if you get a grape like that.
Yeah,
But
deep sea grape.
there are, in fact, some colonial ascidians that are very grape-like. There's a genus named Actinicidia that forms their orange grapes, though, basically.
Interesting.
And really, they're very translucent, and they have what seems like a skin on them. You squeeze them, they would pop. Really beautiful animals, and actually the source of one of the most important anti-cancer drugs that's ever been found in the ocean.
What's that called, Paul? And what kind of cancer is it useful for?
Yeah.
Is that a bad question? Sorry.
No, it's not a bad question. It's been approved in Europe for a number of types of cancers. I'm not sure I could name them accurately. The name of their compound is ET746 and tribectin is the name used by the pharmaceutical industry. It's a company in Spain called PharmaMar, and the pharma is PHARMA. And so drugs from the sea is what this company was established to try and develop, and they've done that very successfully, starting with this one animal.
Do they typically synthesize after they discover?
So long story here. So as is the case with many marine natural products, it's difficult to get enough of them to develop as a drug, and so...
Go ahead and push on in there, please, Jonathan.
Are we going for jar number 5? Of course.
Yeah, of course, that's good.
Beautiful.
Get the bucket cam and start the flush.
Sorry not to cut off your story,
No,
Paul.
no, not at all. We got...
Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, so many of these structures are very complex, though, and it's not easy for them to be synthesized. And even when they are, the process is too complicated to do it at an industrial scale. And so that was the case for this molecule.
Sorry, guys. What jar will we be going to?
Could we go for jar number 5, please?
Jar number 5, Raj. All right, Jake, when you're ready.
Nice.
One.
Awesome.
Kind of
popped right off there. Yeah.
Not to jinx it.
2. Come on. All right, we'll come back to that one.
Nice.
3.
Perfect.
And 1.
4. Do you guys want 5? We can get this guy here pretty easily.
If you
Yeah,
can.
definitely.
Roger that. 5.
Great.
Perfect.
You want more for 6?
Irresistible.
I'm not sure if you can reach it, but on the other side of the rock is a transparent,
Oh, the tunicate?
another tunicate.
Yeah, another tunicate.
So we got 1 in the jar so far.
Yeah.
We've got a sample number now, correct?
Yes, this would be sample NA124-106.
Let's see if we can see it in bubble there. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I remember it.
see
I
it
don't know where
now.
it went.
Maybe it's hidden by the push core.
Yeah, I think it's hidden by the push core on the right. Or that we push the rock slightly onto it.
It was on that rock.
Yeah. Ran
wide,
away.
please.
Full wide.
It's the world's fastest moving tunicate.
You want to zero section and see what falls down there, Jake?
Yes. There's one.
I'll have to jiggle them out of the hose again. Right up against a sponge there. I don't want to.
It's possible that that rock just rolled right over the tunicate.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another one.
Oh, there they are. Yep.
What was that?
Nice.
Just had to shake it a bit.
Magic trick.
Oh, there they all
Great.
are. Fantastic.
Go ahead and zoom on in there, please, Jonathan.
Coming in.
We
I
got
thought it was
any-
here.
I think it's
Yeah,
that
that's
little
what.
pink spot.
Is it
Yeah, that's not
possible-
it. It was transparent, though. Maybe it deflated. They can do that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, would they do
Maybe.
that if they're
Full
disturbed?
wide, Jonathan.
That it?
Yeah. Approach it at 90, that might do it.
Here. We'll see if we can get it from this side here.
So what is a tunicate?
Tunicates are our relatively close relatives among all of the invertebrate animals. They're our closest relative, and they look a bit like a sponge, and they do filter feed, but they're much more complicated.
Yeah.
If we can get a look at this one, they have two holes, one for bringing water in and another one for blowing it out.
It's a hagfish trying to get away from us.
So some of them, they're called sea squirts. So if you've been at a tide pool and you're poking around and something squirts water at you,
Go ahead and push on in there, please.
that's an ascidian or a tunicate. It's the common name.
Oh, that is it.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's retracted.
When it
There you go.
retracted, it
Perfect.
became lost its transparency.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's the
Yeah.
pink thing.
Yeah, if
Oh,
it was,
go
it was
figure.
much bigger before.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah,
wide.
there you can see the two holes.
It's like blowing
one
up
for-
bubble gum.
Yeah.
Bubblegum.
So
That's a good defensive
So
stance.
that's when they do their squirting.
it knew you were
When-
coming.
When
Go ahead and push
when
on
you
in again, please.
disturb them and they retract and
Thank
the
you.
water that's inside comes squirting out.
Suction.
Yeah, go ahead. Maybe quite hidden under that crevice there. I don't know if he's going to let go easily or not.
Yeah, it's going to be
That's
tricky.
gonna be hard.
You got a bit off. Scraped a bit off of it.
The squat lobster is not happy with this.
Oh,
Okay,
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
starting. I can get something out of this guy.
Yeah, you've definitely unseated a bit of it.
So
Oh,
Kai actually has another good question about what we do with these animals when we bring them up, since they're living in the cold and in the dark. Do we keep them in the cold and the dark? And we do try to keep them in the cold, and so we have buckets of seawater in the refrigerator. And when the animals come up, they go into that cold seawater, and that allows people like Greg to photograph them in a little bit more of a relaxed state. Keeping them in the dark's a little a little more challenging, of course. And so we're not really able to do that.
And a zero section, please, real quick. All right. I'm going to just move this rock out of the way.
Another thing people often ask about is pressure, and at this depth we're at 450 meters, so there's 1 atmosphere extra of pressure every 10 meters. So these creatures are living at 45 times the pressure at the surface. So
all right, go ahead, Jake.
When they come up to the surface, they're under a lot less pressure, and does that affect them? If they had gas in them, if you've ever gone fishing and caught a fish from the deep, it could have expanded its swim bladder. And often that's very, very disrupting for the fish, but most of the creatures we're collecting don't have any gas in them at all, so they don't really expand. And it's only the creatures from the really deep sea below 1,000 meters that we see tend to suffer from the lower pressure immediately. A lot of animals are adapted to living under high pressure, and when they come up to our surface area, even if we keep them cold and even if we put them in the dark and other parameters are maintained, they will still die over a day or two because they need that pressure to live.
Oh, so close.
But we don't tend to see animals exploding. Oh, I think you got it.
I think it's all.
No.
Oh, it's still there.
You're so close, though.
Putting up a good fight.
Yeah.
The lobsters
Little
watching this
crabs
with
come to
concern.
see what's going on.
Hoping for a meal.
It's probably feeding like mad off of that fresh current we're giving them.
Well, this push core can just certainly include view, isn't it? Oh, yeah, we got a bit better view here.
These creatures are called tunicates because they do have a covering over their bodies that you can take away, revealing their inner body. So they're really wearing a tunic.
Oh, interesting.
And when I have them in class for my students to study, the first thing they'll learn is how to take away that tunic to really then have a good close look at the internal anatomy.
Zoom in on.
So the pink we're seeing there is its tunic.
Yep, we got it.
Now we wait.
Greg, what is the pink that we're seeing?
The pink is really its tunic, and underneath it would be a transparent body. And tunicates are interesting in that they accumulate metals from the sea. So their tunics are well known for accumulating vanadium, which is an unusual metal. Low concentrations in seawater.
Oh, yeah, it's so bitty. Sorry.
But it can reach quite high levels in their tunic, which is for reasons we don't really understand.
All right, anything else you guys want from this rock?
Oh, that was excellent.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you
Look at
again.
it. Wow.
Would the metal concentrations in their tunic be enough for deep sea metal miners to want to target the tunicates?
Thanks, Jake.
I haven't heard anyone proposing to mine or harvest tunicates for their vanadium, but one never knows. If vanadium became a really useful metal, who knows?
Certainly be interesting biologically how they deposit that.
True, if we understood how they're able to extract it from the ocean. There are other metals in very, very minute dilute quantities in the ocean, but in huge amounts. So for instance, there's a lot of gold overall in the oceans, a massive amount of gold, but it's just so diffuse and dilute.
All right, so on the road again?
Yes, please. Heading up
Roger that.
to the next little mound.
Do you guys want a road joke?
Sure, always.
What is a ctenophores favorite hygienic tool.
Hygienic tool?
Mm-hmm.
Comb.
Yes. Yep.
Are you full wide there,
jelly.
Jonathan? On help?
You have to explain
Oh, I
why they're called comb jellies.
Comb jellies is the common name. Oh. Greg, I think that you would be best at explaining that.
Oh, okay. So if you ever, a ctenophore is called a jelly, but it's not really related to true jellyfish very closely. It is reasonably close, but they have no stinging cells, which you would associate with jellyfish or other stinging cnidarians. Instead, they have 2 tentacles to feed with, and then they have 8 rows around their body of cilia, little tiny fine hairs, and these in the sunlight catch the sunlight and refract it, giving these beautiful patterns. What we're seeing there is a siphonophore, which is a relatively close relative of jellies, and that would sting you quite badly. They have these special capsules that sting you. But a comb jelly just has 8 rows of these shiny, refringent hairs, and we do see ctenophores on our dives, and we'll point one out next time we see one. But you can see them snorkeling or diving, and they catch their prey with sticky tentacles. They don't have stinging cells like these siphonophores that we're seeing often here. And why they're called comb rows, I don't know. I guess they do look a bit like the teeth of a comb.
Okay, so I guess things we should think about are how many transects have been done?
We've done 3 different transects.
3. So we need 2 more transects and we need 2 more rocks.
It's interesting look. Is that a rock covered in a white sponge?
Ooh, yeah.
Great.
Or it almost looks like a sponge that's fallen over.
Interesting.
There's also a whole bunch of pink sea urchins over there.
Oh,
A whole bunch of them. Ooh, and
it's
another
like a little sea urchin
skate.
party.
Yeah, those sea urchins are the fragile sea urchins, Strongylis and Trotus fragilis. They're probably on a piece of kelp, I think, that's fallen down.
Okay, Kai, there's your big fish if you're watching.
And just for reference, the 2 green laser dots that you see are 10 centimeters apart, if you wanted to estimate the size of what we're seeing on screen.
A little further, just to, center up the skate.
Look at all those sea urchins.
That's the guy that attacked us earlier.
Got a pointy nose.
Jake, you want to look a little up there on the HD cam?
Beautiful.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, come wide, please.
A little bit camouflage, not really. We spotted it.
So when would you guys be interested in doing that transect? Anytime soon? I don't think we've come that far.
We haven't come very far, have we?
I'll let you know.
So it was over an hour and a half ago, but we sat down quite a lot. Was it 460?
Another skate. Moving out.
We've come 80 meters.
No, let's keep going for a bit.
Ooh, another skate.
Orange.
Looks like it's not sure if it wants to be a shark or a ray.
Very fine nose on him, though. I love it.
It's an impressive glass sponge coming up. Beautiful vase shaped with a lot of sediment on the outside, but we'll see that it's very clean and crystal clear white on the inside.
All right, Jonathan, go ahead and do a partial.
Oh, cool.
So the 2 rays that we just saw are a type of deep sea skate. Actually, they're skate, not a ray. And they're a species of soft-nosed skate in the family Arencobatidae, found in deep water from 362 to 2,906 meters, usually on the continental slope. They're distributed from off northern Baja California around Coronado Island and Cortez Bank, so that makes sense why we're seeing these.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I'll give you my joke, and this was inspired by Brad Moore. What do you call a place where a lot of skates hang out?
An ice skating rink?
I guess that could work.
I guess that could work.
I was thinking a skate park.
Skate park.
Skate park.
That makes more sense.
Oh, what is that?
Yeah, can we have a look at this rock?
What the
Yeah,
heck
definitely.
is that?
Looks very different.
Yeah, go ahead, Jonathan, do a partial.
Looks like a fossil.
What?
What's going on there?
Kira, we need you.
Yeah.
It looks like
What
a
is
fossil.
Geologist.
That totally
Like a
looks
half
like
of a rib cage?
It looks like, yeah.
It looks like a giant old trilobite.
Yeah. Look
Or is
at
it a
that.
ferromanganese crust on a rock?
Wow.
Kira,
Gonna turn
not
off the
position.
know what we're looking at.
That, I
You
mean,
can see the hollowness of
Maybe
the,
you guys could sample the crusts on top.
Break a piece
Yeah.
off?
Could you break off some of this?
Earlier in the dive,
that looks like a,
but not with the phosphorite crusts on top.
what on
So
earth?
Lisa, it's a little hard to hear you suggesting we try to break a piece of that black material off.
I think it's worth doing that.
Do we want to try to get some different